Good evening and welcome to Jackson, Mississippi and our look back at the 27th International Ballet Competition. I'm Bruce Marks, Artistic Director of Boston Ballet and Jury Chairman for this dramatic competition. Whether you know much about ballet or dance as an art form, tonight's going to be very special. You'll see great dance and the human drama of young artists competing. You may also witness the start of a great career. Others have begun right here on the IBC stage. The summer of 1990 found 157 young dancers from 20 countries taking part in the 4th USA International Ballet Competition. Both professionals and amateurs came to Jackson, Mississippi in hopes of being recognized and rewarded. They came from around the world and from around the country. Every 4 years, Jackson's International Ballet Competition attracts some of the world's best young dancers. The IBC is sanctioned by the International Theater Institute and rotates annually between Moscow, Varna, Bulgaria, Helsinki, Finland, and Jackson, USA. Some of these 15 through 26-year-old dancers will flourish and go on to greatness, as have other IBC medalists, such as Natalia Makarova and Mikhail Baryshnikov. As you will see, especially with one, traditions continue. In 1988, the dance world lost a great artist and leader, Robert Joffrey. He was an innovator, a creative force, and a great friend of the IBC and of Jackson. This year's program began with a tribute to Robert Joffrey. The Joffrey Ballet performed a new piece choreographed by 1986 IBC gold medalist Ed Sterling. The piece embraces life and death. In Latin, lacrimosa means tears.
Anybody who puts their feet in first position and continues is a very special person.
The first position many dancers found themselves in was having to rehearse and perform well enough to make it past the qualifying round. 17-year-old Jennifer Martin was typical of the young hopefuls. Her coach and former dancer is Patricia Stander.
It's almost like a debut, in a sense, a social debut. You come out into the world via competition. But I think generally, most people I know don't approve of it. But I see a lot of my friends here, so it's a moot point. with the sitting, the traveling, and the nerves, and the heat, and the humidity, I just whooped her. I pushed her like a racehorse going through the last turn. Now bounce and stretch that back leg. Stretch it. Go. Left side. Pull it.
When I started young, it became so much a part of me that I can't think of doing anything else but ballet, because it's a way for me to express my emotions through my movement, and it's complete freedom, so that's why.
Yes. Stop. Stop, stop, stop. Do it again. I know it's hard when you're listening to me yelling at you, but you dance this role and you dance to the music. If you really listen to the nuances in the music, the body, now having rehearsed itself nigh unto death, should start to respond. Do you know?
Are you nervous or just excited? I'm excited. That's how I was. Here I come, world. Watch out. Down cue. Don't get too scared.
Considering all of the circumstances, I'm very proud of her. I think that it takes so much heart. I wish people could understand, particularly for the young ones, you know? It takes such guts and heart to get out there and do it, and that in itself is a wonderful thing. How she did, Jennifer, I am very proud of her. Whatever happens, happens. So as a young dancer, I'm pleased. Of course, there's always improvement, always improvement. And frankly, I'm just happy that if she gets through the middle and gets to the end.
Holly and I have been partnering together for about 10 weeks now. She had a previous partner that she started to do this with, and for some reason he wasn't able to continue on. So she called me at the last minute, and we put it together in 10 weeks. I think it's pretty remarkable because Holly doesn't hear at all. She's completely deaf. So for 10 weeks' time, we're pretty happy with it.
I love my baby because she's helped me so much.
There you go. Say that again. Say it again. I know, it's okay, sweetie. It's okay. You know, life comes down to just a few moments, tiny little moments. And these, right now, are your moments, okay? So be happy, be happy.
Oh my God. Yeah, she made it.
Not only did Jennifer Martin get through the middle and get to the end, she got her name on the list of dancers who qualified for round 1, as did 22 others. Unfortunately, Holly Williams wasn't one of them. Accepted competitors arrived in Jackson around the clock and from around the world. Each was greeted and made to feel at home throughout their stay by a host family, a touch of hospitality unique to Jackson's competition. Some, like the 2 Cuban dancers, Jose Manuel Carreño and Ana Lobe, arrived with their coach, Laura Alonso, as complete unknowns. Others, like the Soviet dancers, were preceded by their reputations of being the ones to watch. Here, 2 Estonians, Agnes Oakes and Thomas Edur, arrive after their grueling trip.
Did I speak any English? He speaks a little bit of English, okay. Tonight, no. It's tough, yeah. Where have you come from? We came from Helsinki.
When did you start?
Yesterday, sometime around 6 o'clock in the evening. Yeah. But you know the time is difference is very great. You came from New York. Now it's 6 o'clock in the morning.
Another one to watch was Frenchman Stéphane Elisabeth, who competed in spite of a foot injury he sustained while rehearsing for round 1. Stefan advanced through all 3 rounds with his non-competing partner, Carol Arbeau. Both were award winners. Others were less fortunate and were forced out of the intense 2-week competition by injuries or illness. Round 1 required dancers to perform classical roles. Round 2, contemporary pieces, and round 3, examples of both styles. Medal winners would then be announced and have the chance to dance without judges in the audience during the concluding Saturday night gala. That seemed a long way off as competitors drew numbers to determine their order of performance.
Like 106.
Oh, that is
You want to go late? That's pretty good.
That's not before next Saturday, no?
Big head of the music. Go. Plongé. Go. And 1 and 2. And hold it.
Lola.
I would hate to be a judge at one of these things, truly.
A veces no es tan importante una medalla o un
And in a
premio,
competition, sometimes it's not as
sino
important the medal as
el calor que se sienta
the
del
warmth
público.
that you feel from the public.
Truth of expression. It's very frightening to stop and think that you are performing for a jury.
No. 107 through 110, are they at full?
At least, you know, with the Olympics, if you are swimming, you have to get from that point A to point B in the fastest possible time.
All right, add 109 and 110 to full also, please.
A veces el público habla más que el jurado.
Sometimes the public says more than the jury.
Do you take American Express?
Yes, I do.
The truth of a real smile, of someone maybe doing a dramatic piece and really feeling sad.
It's pretty nerve-wracking when you think there are people in the audience with little pieces of paper writing down things, you know.
Competitor number 2, junior division.
El jurado a veces mira detalles. Hay
The jury sometimes looks
opiniones
for
y
details.
It's the truth of their expression that you really need to look for.
Ora Dixon, representing the United States, dancing a solo variation from the ballet Esmeralda.
El jurado para nosotros es el público.
The best jury
es el
for
público.
an artist is really the public.
As Jackson's IBC jury chairman, I am well aware that the jury process always comes under close scrutiny. And while the IBC criteria are quite standardized, we as jurors are not. Yet, as I explained after having taught a dance class, our variety rewards artistry. I think we bring people here because they don't think the same way, because there isn't a unanimity of approach to this.
Numero uno in America.
You know, there are people who probably do like 16 pirouettes more than they like one moment of breath or suspension.
Competitor number 75.
In the end, though, if you look at the list of winners over the years, and we look at that all the time, you realize that this isn't a haphazard process. Most of those winners are now the principal dancers of our field. So how crazy are we?
People have said to me over the years,
Q53, go.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about ballet, and I always reply to them, why should you? Why should you? I know nothing about football, but I know a great end run when I see it.
Sound, go.
Por yo creo que me cansé más por eso también. Arriba, tranca, y esto. ¿Cómo se ve afuera? ¿Tú lo viste de afuera?
No, yo lo vi de lado.
De aquí del lado.
Well, the audience really responded to you quite well.
Yeah, they were really warm. They were really nice. They're very nice. They're very nice. I didn't pay anybody either.
But he was right. She needs to be much more.
She was a bit drier, yeah.
She's drying. Yeah, she was this morning. I think she's all humidified out. I took her and wrung her like a towel now. She's like a...
Знаете, быть лучшим тоже опасно в какой мере.
Just when people, consider you and they think that you're the best, it's quite dangerous.
I would eat it.
And I need that printout not in rank order. We'll have it in rank order, but I need a numbered order printout to go over to Belhaven. Waiting for results and producing them took place at different sites, but at the same time, after midnight.
What do you have to worry about?
Are these the ones that pass? These are the ones that pass.
I got inside.
57 out of 103 dancers advanced to round 2. Some, like Jennifer Martin, waited till morning to find their name missing from the list. Others seemed to need all night for the truth to sink in. When Ben Stevenson combines talented dancers with his compelling choreography, either the dancers win awards, or Ben does, or both. Jackson's 1990 competition was no exception.
Keep the feeling going, and you're going to give the other one. Now keep that going to the other thing. Keep it going. That's better.
It's feelings foremost, because the steps are really the words of the dance, really, what you're saying. So if you're doing something that's very emotional or you're very upset, somehow you've got to, in your body, I feel that you've got to feel those emotions so that they transcended the steps you're making up.
In round 2, emotions were felt by the dancers, by the audience, and by the jury during this powerful performance by Martha Butler and Mark Arvin.
End of Time, which is choreographed by Ben Stevenson, is a pas de deux about a couple returning to their village and finding that their village has been destroyed, all of their families dead. Their life as a family is over. He's always trying to go, and you want to go, but you don't want to go. And he's always going, and I'm left behind, and finally we just give up. You know, what do we have left? Our whole life has been destroyed, so we might as well just go too. It's a very emotional piece, I think. Just, you know, putting yourself in that position of losing your family is going to, I don't know, I think
it's about despair. It's about despair and no hope left, which is hard because you always want to think there's always hope left. But this ballet, you really have to think that it's all gone. With a pas de deux like this, you really have to start out soft and let the audience know what's happening, and then take it from there and just build and let it explode, meaning finally just saying, no, there's nothing left, and we might as well die.
Well, it's the story of a relationship. A man and a woman. You know, sometimes you get together and a relationship brings out the best in each one. And sometimes it doesn't quite work that way, and it brings out the worst till they become slimy little things.
Is there any one point in either of the dances that they're doing that if they make it through that, they're okay?
Yes. For the modern, there's a part where she does, you know, sit-ups, hanging in the back of him by the legs, and she goes all the way up on his shoulders.
and backs down and goes up. And that's very tough.
We have many ballots being turned in without any comments. We would appreciate a comment.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
The round 2 survivors. Some couldn't believe their good fortune at being among the 27 dancers to advance, while others... Many who didn't advance stayed on to attend the Jackson IBC Dance School, which is unique among international ballet competitions. Classes were taught by some of the world's best. Students, non-competitors, came from 28 states and 5 countries. Beginners were taught the basics. And the advanced and professional dancers were also reminded of the basics. I want to dance. I paid $39 to come here and have a dancing experience. And when I watch you on stage and I do that with you, I get to dance. That's why I spent $39. Faculty members are some of the international dance world's most respected, and the styles taught offered some a very new approach.
There's one thing that has really touched me deeply, and that's 2 competitors from Romania who've come away from a country that's right in the middle of chaos, that up to 1 week before they left didn't know whether they were going to have government support. Only a week before they left did they receive a check, but it didn't cover the cost of a coach. So they came here, just the 2 of them, with no costumes to help them, just themselves. For them, the competition means more than just performing a pas de deux. For them, it means freedom, being able to get out and to show the rest of the world what they can do.
few things went wrong here. My music was cut off halfway. Technical mistake.
One of the male dancers that caught my eye was the Cuban dancer. His name is Jose, I don't know his last name, but I watched him last night and he was very good.
It's like a spell, and then you feel it. You can't say who is an artist, you feel it. You feel you feel like you would cry, you would scream or something when you watch this artist. And there were very few, actually, that made me, I may say, they were Cuban.
With the Cubans last night, he had a beautifully polished technique, but you forgot about it. Because he was portraying Albrecht in Giselle, and he did it in such a beautiful way, using his technique to portray the part.
Any other questions? Tonight we stay.
109.
The jury selected 26 medalists and award winners by the numbers, not by names or nationalities. $60,000 in prize money and scholarships were earned by some very talented young artists. Several gave memorable performances.
Thank y'all.
We're finished. But before prizes were announced, dancers had a night to relax and enjoy. The Hispanic contingent, which won several of the major medals, also took dance floor honors with this variation on a decidedly Latin rhythm. Bronze medal and third place and an award of $3,000 to Irma Nioradze, Tbilisi, Georgia, SSR. And the other silver medal, male, from Argentina, Luis Ortigosa.
A silver medal to Simona Noja from Romania.
Silver medal female, Irina Dvorovenko from Kiev, Ukraine, USSR.
To the gold medal female, to Diana Perez. The Best Senior Couple Award goes to Age Ox and Thomas Edur from Estonia SSR. And the gold medal for a woman from Houston, Texas, Martha Buck. We have the grand prize of the city of Jackson, $10,000 to Jose Manuel Carrera.
Backstage, after the ovations died down, the Jackson IBC's founder and artistic director, Thalia Mara, made a startling observation about Jose Manuel. Startling because throughout her 50 years in professional ballet, spent mostly in New York, she has seen all the greats, from Yuskevich to Nureyev to Baryshnikov. Thalia Mara knows dancers.
That boy is extraordinary. I've seen a lot of dancers in my life. I think that he's probably the best dancer I've ever seen.
One more time.
Bye-bye. Now, don't forget you're going to send postcards before Christmas.
More postcards before Christmas.
Of all the fond memories, cash prizes, and medals carried off by Jackson's departing guests, perhaps the one with the most value sat in the pocket of Ivan Naj, the competition's master of ceremonies and artistic director of the English National Ballet. It was an agreement. Ivan's task of introducing the dancers and their pieces to the audience required him to spend all of his time sitting backstage. While far from the best seat in the house, it was near to the dancers. That was the key advantage when it came to offering Jose Manuel and his partner Ana Lobe a contract with his English National Ballet.
So I was the first who really made the offer, and I'm very pleased actually. They really honored it because they had lots of other invitations. So I'm the lucky one.
Jose Manuel Carreño, a prince in Jackson, returned to Havana to prepare for an uncertain reception on the international stage. His premiere would be a royal gala performance of Rio y Bosque, River and Forest, the Cuban ballet with African roots, mythic, primitive, exotic, and challenging. Jose Manuel would be Orgun, god of the forest.
Soy, bueno, trato de ser, no sé, una simple persona más de este mundo, un bailarín, un amante de la vida.
The future is now bright for Jose Manuel Carreño. His talent and appeal will be tested on the international stage. Will he be one of the greats? Time will tell. But the best young challengers will again gather to measure each other, to learn from each other, and to strive for excellence in this, the most physical and emotional art, ballet.
This program was made possible by MTEL, a company committed to the development of a global messaging system. SkyTel, an MTEL subsidiary, provides nationwide paging and voicemail services in the United States and international messaging services.